Hi there, today we're going to talk about closed loop reporting. So to get started, just an overview of who I am. My name's Darren. I'm a co-founder of Mpool. And you can follow me on Twitter at Darren Smith. And you can also ask any questions that you have about this training video using that Twitter handle. All right, so let's get started with what is closed loop reporting. And what I'd like to do is just give you an indication of what it is not, because a lot of agencies and a lot of digital marketers believe that closed loop reporting is simply kind of the reporting that you get from Google Analytics that tells you where your traffic is coming from and maybe where your conversions are coming from. So that means someone has filled out a form and they have set up in Google Analytics ability to track any traffic that has gone past a particular kind of form, and they then call that closed loop reporting. Closed loop reporting is essentially not that, because all you get in is what digital tactics resulted in leads. You have no idea which leads are resulting in customers, and you've got no way of segmenting those leads because you don't know you can't use any of that data that gets filled out in the form. You're just using a piece of tracking code. So what closed loop reporting is reporting from that initial conversion all the way through to when that lead becomes a customer. And that could be months or even years after that initial conversion. So that's why marketing automation is so important for brands with long sales processes. Because unlike FMCG brands, where you can run a campaign and sales increase within 24 hours, and then you can say this campaign resulted in this return on investment, you cannot do that with for brands that have long sales and buying processes. So why is closed loop reporting so important? Because it enables you to know exactly which marketing tactics and strategies are working, and then you can repeat those, and the ones that aren't, you can stop doing those. The other thing is that even though the world is so digital, the majority of people that arrive on a website or a landing page will still look for the telephone number and phone the company or brand to make a purchase or an inquiry. And there's no way without closed loop reporting that you can tie the reason for that phone call back to digital marketing. There are a couple of challenges when it comes to closed loop reporting. So first of all, there's normally a huge resistance from marketing teams, and that's because they worry that by using closed loop reporting, you're going to uncover that all the marketing tactics and strategies that they've been doing for years and years did not work, and it's going to make them look really bad. The other problem is if there's no automation and you really need to be closing this loop manually, because with any manual process, it will break at some point. So CRM has a really important role in closed loop reporting. So for those of you not aware of CRM, it stands for Customer Relationship Management, and most of it comes in the form of a piece of software. Salespeople use the software to record their interactions with leads and with customers, record orders, and often after that order's been made, often the processing of that order is within the CRM system. Often help desk ticketing and that type of thing is also in the CRM system. So this means that every single interaction a company or brand has with a lead or customer is logged somehow, whether it's manually or automatically in the CRM system. So marketing may be using marketing automation to track their marketing and what's working and nurturing leads, and sales and customer support are using CRM to deal with people that are phoning in, to deal with people that are walking into a shop, to deal with support issues and orders. So the ideal thing is if these systems can talk to each other, then all the statuses of all the contacts in the CRM system, so whether they've become a lead has become a customer, or the customer has made an order, what is the value of that order? All of that can sync between the two systems, and you'll be able to see right from the beginning that lead was generated from a particular tactic, and maybe 18 months later it has now become a customer and it has spent a certain amount of money with you, and then you can tie that back to return on investment and be able to know which marketing tactics are actually working. So with digital marketing and inbound marketing in particular, there's always a honeymoon phase because it makes so much sense to use inbound marketing. It's it's not intrusive. It really kind of attracts the right people. It allows you to spend budget more effectively. And if you really think about it, often it is the way that someone will get. It's the only way that someone can ever reach you as a marketer who's expert at blocking out marketing. The problem is that with closed loop reporting, often within the kind of first year of using inbound marketing, the marketing managers, salespeople say this doesn't work because all they're seeing is them spending a large retainer with an agency to do this work, and they're getting kind of a lot of unqualified leads and a handful of leads that become customers. The thing is that after kind of a year of gathering data and learning what works and what doesn't work and continually optimizing a campaign, later on, the brand starts spending less or more targeted spend, and they get more leads and they're extremely happy. Without closed loop reporting on your digital marketing and inbound marketing, in 6 to 12 months, leads carry on coming in. Like leads were coming in before they were doing digital marketing. They're just not able to say whether this is coming from a print ad, whether this is coming from an event, a relationship, or whether this is coming from digital marketing. So they just see leads and they're happy. Then 12 to 24 months go by and they're still happy, but they can't credit any of the work to inbound marketing and digital marketing. So when something new comes up, some new trend, some new phase, they're very easily open to switching off budget for digital inbound and relocating that budget to something else. So those with closed loop reporting are difficult to keep initially, but once you've got them, they stay with you. All right, so how do you close the loop if you're using HubSpot? So it's all about the field in HubSpot called lifecycle stage. So there's several different stages, starting at subscriber, moving to lead, marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, opportunity, customer, and evangelist. And essentially what you want to do is be able to mark the contacts in your database with one of those stages. So they'll mostly start out as a lead and they'll end up as a customer, and you're able to then report on the journey that took them along that path. If you are a B2B company, HubSpot and many of the other marketing automation platforms also have company records, and you must not forget to sync that company record so that when one contact buys something from you, all the contacts related to that company are also updated. So how do you update that lifecycle stage? Well, there's several ways. Obviously, if you're using the HubSpot CRM system, as you move that deal through the different deal stages, when it eventually ends up on closed one, that lead will be turned into a customer. If you're just using HubSpot Marketing, you can go into the contact database and you can update that. If you're using Salesforce, HubSpot have an automatic connector into Salesforce. It takes you about 5 minutes to set up, and you can start syncing data between Salesforce and HubSpot. There's also a bunch of pre-built connectors that you can buy from the HubSpot marketplace, and that includes some of the connectors for popular CRM systems such as Microsoft Dynamics and Sugar CRM. HubSpot have a really good API, so those people using kind of e-commerce or custom CRM systems, custom order management system can very easily use the API to update the contact in HubSpot when it becomes a customer. And then, of course, you do have the manual import, where you can take an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV of customers that have closed during the week, import them into HubSpot, and make sure that all those statuses are updated. But that is bound to break at some point. So when should you be setting up a closed loop reporting strategy? Ideally, right at the beginning of the interaction with a new customer. It will require you to facilitate a workshop, maybe between the sales team and the marketing team, and work out who's going to send information to who and when, and how that information is captured. This will allow you to develop a closed loop reporting strategy. And as we mentioned now, that closed loop reporting strategy might require some sort of integration with your CRM system. It might require some sort of development using the API to make sure that everything gets updated and is correct. So I hope you found this little training session on closed loop reporting useful. We'd love you to go and complete the exercise. To test what you've learned, go to offers.mpool.com/academy-closed-loop and fill out the form and you'll get the exercise to complete. We'll mark that afterwards and give you some constructive feedback. Thanks so much.